McGruff.
This is a News Channel 5 Learning Matters Minute. A high school diploma is a ticket to better jobs and a brighter future. But in Tennessee, fewer than 7 of every 10 high school students ever graduate. That's one of the lowest graduation rates in the country. How do you feel about that?
It's not a record to be proud of for Tennessee.
Well, I'm in 8th grade, and I think it's really good to go through high school so you can have a career.
I'm a teacher, and one of the depressing things is each year watching your seniors drop out.
A student failing to graduate from high school is like a runner quitting in the middle of a race. How can we make sure more of our students reach the finish line?
Set up job fairs and explain to the kids the importance of more or less finishing high school.
Parents need to spend more time with the children.
If the parents would help and the teachers would help, I think they all would stay in school and graduate.
This has been another Learning Matters Minute, brought to you as a public service of News Channel 5.
This is News Channel 5's Snow Watch.
Good morning, I'm Joe Case. Because of the icy conditions over toward the Cumberland Plateau, we have a couple of schools that are going to be closed there. In Van Buren County, their schools will be closed. Van Buren County schools will be closed. That's the only county system that we have to report to you. Just a couple of miles to the north, up in Putnam County, 2 Monterey schools there will be closed today as well. Now, our satellite picture this hour showing the clouds still hanging on over the area. Maybe a few snow flurries here and there, but that'll end later on today. It'll become partly cloudy later today. And our high temperature, though, is going to be 29 degrees with winds out of the northwest at 10 to 15 miles an hour. Right now in Nashville, it's 21 degrees with a wind chill of 6 degrees below zero. That's a look at Snow Watch.
This has been News Channel 5's Snow Watch, brought to you by Arby's, Horner Roush Superstores, your Tennessee, Kentucky Gold Medal Chevrolet dealers, Furniture World, Franklin and Nashville, Auto Value Parts Stores, and Centennial Medical Center.
This is a News Channel 5 update.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Roy Hobbs, and topping our news this morning, the war in the Persian Gulf is fast becoming a war of nerves for the folks on the home front. Church services yesterday were full of people praying their loved ones will return home safely from battle. At the First Assembly of God Church in Clarksville, the soldiers of the congregation are being remembered with a paper star. Each of the more than 175 stars represents a person in the Middle East and a prayer for their safe return. One of the early heroes of the Gulf War is the Patriot missile. A University of Tennessee professor helped design the rocket back in 1960s, and John Bailey says he's glad to see the Patriot's effectiveness in destroying enemy missiles before they hit their target. Fire raged through a downtown chemical plant early this morning, damaging much of the Rhone-Poulenc chemical company. The fire crews were able to quickly extinguish the flames, however. There were no chemicals involved in the fire and no one there was hurt. A Murray County man is charged with a gruesome murder and is being held today without bond there. Police say Terrell Dwayne Voorhees is charged with first-degree murder for killing a mother and a daughter yesterday. He allegedly stabbed Deborah Brooks 3 dozen times. Then he chased down her 7-year-old daughter and stabbed her to death. A grisly find in Robertson County this weekend. Police there found the decomposing body of a Kentucky woman near I-65. Marla Lynn Harper had been missing since Christmas Eve. Her husband has been arrested for that murder. A very sad farewell for the Masterworks art exhibit. The art collection, on loan from Japan's Bridgestone Museum, is headed back to Tokyo after being viewed by more than nearly 200,000 people during a 4-month stint at the State Museum. It's now time to check our traffic situation this morning, and despite all of the cold weather and some snow flurries, we have no traffic tie-ups to report this morning. Now let's check in with Joe Case and get a quick double check on today's weather forecast. And Joe, what do you think? We're going to see some more snow today?
Well, it looks like maybe a few flurries around the area this morning, and nothing to worry about there at all this morning. Our temperatures, though, are going to be rather cold. Wind chill right now is 6 degrees below zero at 21, and our high today is only going to be 29.
All right. Thank you, Joe, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here at 8:25, rather. Have a good morning. Bye-bye.
This has been a News Channel 5 update.
This is a Channel 5 health tip brought to you by Baptist Hospital.
If you're overweight and out of shape, use 1991 to improve your health. Doctors advise you exercise regularly, but exercise caution. If you are middle-aged or older, or if you are at risk for heart disease, consult your physician first. Also avoid obesity, but avoid diet fads too. Choose a reasonable diet and exercise program you can follow for a lifetime. And check it out with a doctor before you start. That's today's health tip. I'm Catherine Walters.
One man's dream, a nation's struggle.
I have a dream.
And he then mentioned a very limited number of casualties, and he said that these were almost exclusively old men, poor people, women and children. I mean, the usual stuff that can be expected.
I know you said you were relegated to the hotel for the most part. Did you have any interaction at all with Iraqi citizens?
Well, I was able to get out for a very brief walk around town without the camera, but it was quite useful to see, to some limited extent, the bombing damage that had occurred in town. But the most interesting was actually the drive out when we left town by car to go to the Jordanian border. We then, on a couple of occasions, stopped, and we were able to speak to some of the people there. The overriding impression that comes from seeing these people going about their daily life is that there is no panic, there is no nervousness on their part at all. It's almost as if they've slipped back into a routine that they seem to know very well from the previous 8 years of war. They've had a couple of years rest from it, and they've just knuckled down and got straight back into this old routine. They don't seem to have any apprehension about the future at all.
On CBS This Morning, here's a look at your weather.
Well, it's going to be a cold day in the Nashville area today. A few flurries this morning. Otherwise, it'll turn partly cloudy today, with our high temperature making it up to about 29 degrees. Have a good day. Stay warm. I'm Joe Case.
This is CBS. This is a Channel 5 Good News Break.
Hi, I'm Brett Lee. Soldiers in the Gulf are getting lots of support, not just from the White House in Washington, but from White House, Tennessee. White House High School students remembered our forces in the Gulf with a rally, showing their support for our troops in speeches and in a song.
This Good News Break has been brought to you courtesy of Earl Don Pontiac.